I'm Tyler Marcotte alongside Sean Bednar here with CMU Hockey to preview this upcoming game against Davenport University and to talk about last week's matchup against Michigan State, the big win. Sean, this is a team from last year's D3 team and this year's D2 team kind of put together, and chemistries and teamworks have been sorting out throughout the entire season.
Yeah, like you talked about, there's two completely different teams that had to come together to make one big CMU team. And there were questions at the beginning of the season, how's this going to work out? You have players that know each other a little bit but have not played together. How's this all going to work out? And at 4-0 right now, things have seemed to work out pretty good for the Chippewas.
And this is, one of the big things about having teams that are so different, are such a new team, is you have to learn other players' tendencies, where they're going to be on the ice, how they play, their styles. And so far we've asked the players and they've said that's been a growing process, but it's progressing, which is definitely a good sign for this young team.
Yeah, you're right about that one. Like you said, we did talk to some of the players both from last year's D2 team and last year's D3 team about the leadership changes and just having one giant conglomerate team. This is what they had to say.
It's coming along. It definitely is. Everybody's learning how to play with everybody, but at the same time, we still gotta keep working at it. You just gotta know where you guys are gonna be on your line and where he's gonna be at the ice.
Everyone's getting along together. A lot of guys didn't know each other. I didn't know too many guys from the team last year, but we met the first week and kicked it off. And we're playing good. We're 4-0 right now, so we're doing all right.
Oh, the chemistry's been great so far. As a team, we hang out almost all the time. We do activities outside of hockey, go to the bar together. Locker room's always loud, exciting. It's been a perfect fit so far. Not a problem at all.
4 wins for this CMU team so far in the season, and that's something that should not be viewed too lightly. Those 4 wins have came against 3 of the top 5 teams from last year's ACHA, and 3 of those wins come from behind wins in the third period. This is a team that knows how to come back, and fiercely.
Absolutely. Typical CMU offense is goals in the third period. We saw that this year. We're seeing that a lot last year, and it's something that CMU is very proud of. It's a good thing to have for a good young hockey team like this team. And like you said, it sends out a huge message to all the other teams for the upcoming schedule. You want to circle CMU on your calendar and be like, we have to play them in Isabella. That's a tough team. We'll see what Coach Tyler had to say about the message that it sends out to the rest of the league.
We started getting the respect that we needed at the end of last year when we ended our season on a 16-game win streak, and then starting off right where we left off last year against big teams. With MSU's actually the team that eliminated us last year from the playoffs first round. So getting that win under our belt against them, just big, and people are going to start noticing that around the league.
Central Michigan Chippewas started, last week off with a big win over Michigan State, a big comeback, down 2-0, 4-3 victory just in the closing seconds of the third period. Yep. That's a huge win for the Chippewas. Sean, you were there. What was the environment like, and what was the big moment?
Man, anytime in any sport that CMU and MSU are playing against each other, it's going to be packed no matter where they're playing. And the story was no different in Isabella on Friday night. And you could tell there was a lot of chippiness going on between these two teams. These are two teams that don't like each other. Straight and simple, do not like each other. And you could tell by the way these two teams were hitting each other and the way these two teams were chirping against each other. CMU went out there and they had something to prove after that playoff loss they had to Michigan State last year. What they were able to do, third period, they're down 3-2. Dalton Sutherland gets his first goal ever as a Chippewa, turns the entire dynamic of the game around, ties it up with under 2 minutes left, and that makes the path available for Nate Allgaier to send it home with less than 5 seconds left in the game and send Isabella Arena into an uproar. It was crazy.
And you said Dalton Sutherland, he's a young player, only his second college hockey game ever played. That's a huge goal, especially for a young player, to especially spark the team and get it going. And you saw it in the celebration, with that much passion, that much emotion. That definitely hypes up the team. That gets you ready for that final goal. And like you said, Nathan Allgaier, he really put it in.
It was a beauty of a goal. And I know just from where we were in the press box, we stood up and screamed and we were beating up against the glass. It's one of those moments that just really sends a message to the ACHA and the MCHC and says, hey, Central Michigan's for real. You better watch out for these guys. And I think Davenport really has to prepare for what they're going to be seeing at Patterson Arena on Friday night against these Chippewas who beat them twice last year.
Yeah, like we talked before, Davenport is a team on the upslope. They did not finish their season well last year. 0-18, 12 total goals on the season, but you can't look at that stat. You can't look at that statistic and say this is the same team from last year. They're much improved. They're faster, they're stronger, and they're a little better from last year. So, the Chippewas can't just come in and expect, an 18-0 blowout or a 10-0 blowout. They got to come in ready to go. They can't come in soft, and it's going to be a huge test. And I think the Chippewas will do really well.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone kind of wrote off the Adrian College Black game that we had a couple weeks ago, and it was only a 3-1 win for the Chippewas. Zach had to make 39 saves on 40 shots, so we can't expect saying, okay, CMU is going to go to Grand Rapids, big hockey community, and then just, win 12-0. We got to be realistic and think, if CMU can take care of business the way that we expect them to, we should be looking ahead to the home-and-home league play next week against Adrian College Gold and say, all right, we're going to start the season 5-0.
Absolutely, and like you said, the Michigan State game is going to be a big build-up for Davenport. They've got a lot of momentum coming in, so that should be a good win. And the Davenport game should give us a lot of momentum for Adrian when they come into town, because Adrian's a great team. They're one of the better teams in our league, so we're going to need a lot of momentum and a lot of intensity to beat that team.
And one thing we're really going to need on Friday night when Adrian College Gold comes to town is fan support. So we hope to see you at Isabella Ice Arena on Friday night as Adrian College comes to town. For Tyler Marcotte, I'm Sean Bednard. We'll see you next time for CMU Hockey.